Jesus Christ. Amen. I bring you greetings this morning from 118 congregations that form the Western Iowa Synod. This is an area that stretches from Minnesota to Missouri, from South Dakota, Nebraska to almost, but not quite, I-35. We, as the Western Iowa Synod, are one of 65 synods that make up the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. I also bring you greetings from our companion synods and mission partners that are serving around the world. We are church together, doing ministry together, telling the story of Jesus, feeding the hungry, working for peace and justice through Lutheran Office of Advocacy and Lutheran Social Services in Iowa. Together we are Lutheran Disaster Response, and we are assisting folks in times of hurricanes and floods. And together we raise up new leaders through our Bible camps, our ELCA colleges, and seminaries. So first, thank you. Thank you for your partnership in this ministry. Thank you for your ongoing support that continues to make these things possible as together we tell the story of Jesus. So, it's October, and at my house, October is birthday month. Uncles, spouse, children, all have birthdays in these few weeks. It seems as if each weekend we are gathering around yet another table with one more cake decorated in lovely fall colors, with a few more candles on that cake than last year. And then when the candles are burning brightly, someone makes the announcement, well, make a wish. And a wish is made and the candles are extinguished. Until that time when Make a Wish was announced, and we were all met with a sullen look and a sneer. Why? Wishes never come true. Why keep doing this? And so it is in the parable that Jesus tells in the Gospel of Luke. Things are not working out as the disciples had assumed they would when they left their nets and family fishing business behind. God is supposed to make it clear. God is supposed to provide a king. Jesus is to be the Messiah, and now the authorities are out to arrest him. Things are not going well in the prayer department. The disciples are beginning to lose heart, beginning to wonder, why keep doing this? So Jesus, once again, tells them a story. There was once a judge in some city who never gave God a thought and cared nothing for people. A widow kept after him. My rights are being violated. Protect me. And he never gave her the time of day. But after this, he went on and he said to himself, I care nothing about what God thinks, even less what people think. But this widow keeps badgering me. She keeps badgering me, so I better see that she gets justice, or I am going to be beaten black and blue by her pounding. We do not know what the widow was complaining about. We know she is a widow, she is alone, and she is relentless in her pestering the judge. The judge, who by his own admission respects no one, fears no one, and especially not God. But he knows that this widow is badgering him, and he better do something about it, or he is going to be beaten black and blue by her pounding. And he does not want to walk around town with a black eye. He will be the laughing stock. He will be the laughing stock if everyone knows that a widow who has been harassing him gave him a swift right hook. So, to save face, the judge grants her justice. Justice. The ordering of society according to God's demand, so that all life can thrive. Justice, so that all might thrive. This little gospel parable pokes at us, demanding that we challenge some long-time assumptions, that we seek out some new interpretations, and that we can expect some change. This story expects that we will ask some questions. What does it mean to fear God? How do we demonstrate respect for one another? How will we know when justice has been granted? And perhaps here today, what needs to change at Bethany Lutheran Church? Theologian and author Anna Madsen, who taught for some years at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, shares some insights about being church in her book, I Can Do No Other. Hear these words from Anna. The church is not called to please people or to avoid conflict or to protect familiar systems. The church is instead called to tell the news that Jesus did not stay dead. The church is to be in the business of putting death to death and replacing it with life. The church is to steward life. Yes, this means comforting the grieving, but it also means preventing grief when possible. And it means questioning systems and powers that cause grief. This means the church is called to speak boldly for justice for all people and to challenge power and policies that have run amok. And most importantly, the church is called to be the place where Jesus is the host and is the one who welcomes all people. And so that is why we are here today in this place. Because we can count on God to come down on the side of justice. We can count on God to hear the ones who have no power, no influence, no voice. We can count on God to hear those who have nowhere else to turn. And we can count on God not always to grant our requests, but always to hear us, and to hear us with loving patience. We are here today because when Jesus tells this story, he is headed to Jerusalem and to the cross. We are here today at the foot of the cross, where God meets us in our pain, our shame, our anger, and meets us with grace. Comes to us with mercy and unconditional acceptance. Because in the cross, God defeats the powers of evil and death and sets us free to live a new life. Because here, every gender, every race, all are covered by God's grace. Here at the foot of the cross, all are welcomed and all are loved. This is the gospel story of Jesus. It is the story that we claim as followers of Jesus. And it is the story we are called to tell and live out in the world. The good news that Jesus lives, Jesus did not stay dead, and God desires life for you and for all people. So yes, there are things that need to change at Bethany Lutheran Church. These days ahead will indeed require patience, require a process and persistence. You will be asked to be vulnerable and honest and not be about making people happy or keeping them comfortable. Trust will need to be restored, grace and forgiveness extended. And only then will healing begin, and it will take time. But know this, we are church together. You are surrounded and prayed for by 118 neighboring congregations in the Western Iowa Synod. Together, we are the ELCA, a church that is rooted in tradition, yet always being made new. We are a church where, yes, our traditions and our ways of doing things are important, but God is still speaking and still making things new. The Holy Spirit is stirring here, inviting each one of us to open our hearts, to listen, really listen, to pray, and to pray with persistence that thy will be done, that God's way of justice be done. As one theologian likes to say, we must keep our hearts chasing after God's heart. This is how we bother God. And it is how God bothers us right